welcome back to Afternoon Live. If the honeymoon phase is over and things are feeling a little stale between you and your sweetie, our next guest is here to help. We welcome back licensed professional counselor, podcast host, and author of Big Dating Energy, Jeff Guenther. Jeff Guenther, aka Therapy Jeff. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
You have some really good ideas for us because this happens. The honeymoon cannot last forever. That's okay.
That is okay. And usually it only lasts 6 months. Sometimes for folks it can last up to 2 years. I don't know who that is, but that's what the science says.
Okay.
That it can last that long, but eventually it ends. And it's also okay to grieve that period of honeymoon, new relationship energy. It's not going to last, and it doesn't mean that there's a bunch of red flags you need to leave and find somebody else. Otherwise you're just hopping from one honeymoon to the other, which is fine, I guess, if that's what you want to do.
Sounds exhausting.
But very exhausting, and lots of people want like a longer term relationship, so it's okay if it ends.
Okay, so let's talk about kind of embracing those changes and moving forward, beginning with some ideas here. How about increasing flirty banter throughout the day?
Yes, I always suggest that is the first thing to do, because a lot of times in a relationship it starts to turn into like, what's for dinner? I don't know, ugh. Or like, can you take out the trash or pick me up? You know, it just like becomes like a very routine, not hot kind of communication throughout the day.
No. I'm sorry.
No. So if you're really flirting, you're sending like flirty texts, or you're sending like hot little pictures, or you're telling them about how much you can't wait to see them later in the day, then that energy sort of permeates the relationship and it just sort of naturally flows into more sparky connection.
I like how you kind of gave different ideas, because some of us are a little bit more shy. You don't have to be totally out there, just something small to let your partner know that you're thinking of them and you can't wait to see them at the end of the day.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Okay, we can do that. Being very vulnerable.
Yeah, sometimes this feels really uncomfortable and people don't like to do it, but if you're super vulnerable and emotionally honest with how you're feeling, especially this week, you might feel really anxious or scared or upset, and if you share that with your sweetie and they also share that too, that creates a really strong emotional bond, which then can turn into like sparkiness and chemistry because you're feeling so connected in a really honest way.
Yeah, and there's a reason that you chose this person, so hopefully you feel safe to kind of open up that way.
Yes.
And if you can't, then maybe that's another discussion.
Exactly. Note that.
Okay, how about this? Telling each other about spicy fantasies.
Yes, there's probably fantasies that you haven't told your partner. Think about what those fantasies are. Be brave, be courageous, share that with your partner, have them share it with you, come up with ideas. You don't have to do all the fantasies, but it can lead to some like really fun, fantastical talks where you can do things that would like really light each other up.
Okay, and then kind of spinning off of that, trying new things in and outside of the bedroom, the home, in the world, wherever. Fun stuff.
Yeah, getting out of your comfort zone, and when you do that, like the dopamine starts to come up naturally in your brain, and it starts to feel like you're like doing things that are really brave and scary, and it bonds people together, which creates more spark.
Okay, and taking risks, maybe in some of those new things.
In some of those new things. So bungee jumping, I don't know, like cave diving, maybe you want to do that. Like things that get the adrenaline pumping, or even just like going on vacation to Hawaii or Paris or something. It's not too scary, but you're in a really new environment.
Just something different.
Something. Get out of the house and spice it up a little.
Well, and a lot of those things, you mentioned that this is why producers put people through these things on reality shows.
Yes.
Because they really work.
They work. If you watch any season of The Bachelor or Bachelorette or Love is Blind or whatever your favorite reality show is, they put them in these really strange situations that are really new. The adrenaline is pumping.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of competition, like you're competing with other people, and sometimes that feels like you really like somebody more than you actually do. Don't try to compete in like your community for your person.
Right, yeah, you're good, it's okay.
You're good, you're secure, you're in a relationship, but go ahead and like do things that are outside of the norm.
Okay. Like
study the things that those producers are doing on those reality shows, and you'll be good.
That's a great point. There is some good to come out of the reality television of it all.
There is, yeah, lots of bad, but some
we
good.
can acknowledge.
Yeah.
What about if you feel like you're putting yourself out there with your partner and they're not reciprocating? How do you kind of manage that situation?
Yeah, well, in that situation and in all of these situations, the really important key thing is communication. So if you feel like you're putting yourself out there and you're not getting a response back, that feels rejecting, that feels sad, you might sort of pull back a little bit to punish them, or maybe you're passive aggressive. Here in the Pacific Northwest, you're probably passive aggressive. That's just how we communicate. Try not to do that and be really
Yeah.
open and honest with your sweetie so that they know what you're doing and what you're trying, and they can
Yeah.
be compassionate.
You can always check yourself, even if you feel like somebody else is in the wrong. You can approach it with the most love and kindness possible.
That is true.
For a better result, hopefully.
Yes.
Great to see you.
Good to see you
Thank you
too.
so much. Again, Jeff's book is Big Dating Energy. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.